Hi everyone, it's Zach here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the iconic sprinkle cake. So, as it's currently the summer holidays, I thought this would be the perfect video for you guys because I don't know about any of you lot, but I am really missing that light and fluffy sponge with the icing on top and the sprinkles. It's just honestly unreal. If you haven't already, don't forget to also subscribe to my channel if you are new so you won't miss any of my future videos, and don't forget to go and hit that like button as it would help me out so much. Make sure you also go and check me out on Instagram at Zak Bakes I, where you guys can keep up with my baking journey as well as my life in general. But without further ado, let's get baking. To make the old school sprinkle cake, you will need some flour, margarine or butter, I'm using margarine, caster sugar, eggs, some milk and vanilla extract. And you're also going to need some icing sugar, milk and of course some sprinkles. As always, I'll leave all of the measurements for these ingredients in the description box below. Okay, so this recipe is so easy. You're just going to start by needing a bowl, and then you also need like a wooden spoon or an electric whisk. I'm going to be using a good old wooden spoon today, and we're going to start off by doing the creaming method. So you want to grab your butter or margarine. I'm personally going to be using margarine. If you are using butter, just make sure your butter is at room temperature. And we're going to put this into our bowl. And then into our bowl, we're also going to put our caster sugar. And then we're just going to cream these together until they're well incorporated together and we have a really light, pale and fluffy mix. I've just finished creaming together my butter and my sugar, and you can see how light and fluffy our mixture now is. So I'm just going to grab a spatula and scrape the bowl around the side, just so we make sure everything gets well incorporated. And then we're going to grab our eggs and vanilla extract, and we're just going to put them all into a jug like so. Now we're going to give our eggs and vanilla extract just a little whisk together so they're roughly, mixed together well. Now that we have our egg and vanilla mixed together, we're just going to grab our bowl that we creamed together the butter and sugar in. And now what we need to do is gradually we're going to add the egg mix into the butter and sugar mix, mixing well after adding in each bit of egg. Now that I've added in all of my egg mixture, I'm going to show you what my mix is looking like. It's really nice and smooth, which is just what you want. So again, with my spatula, we're going to give it a good scrape down the sides because we want everything to get well incorporated. And now I'm just going to grab my flour and we're just going to sieve this into our mix all at once. And then we're just going to mix this flour in until our mixture has come together. I've just mixed in all of my flour, and this is our cake mixture almost done. It's looking so nice. This cake mix so far is honestly just looking super smooth, just what you want, which is amazing. So now we're going to add our milk into our cake mix so far, and this is just going to help thin it out. So in goes our milk. And then once you've got your milk in there, you actually just want to fold it through really carefully. Here we now have our finished cake mix, and it's so smooth and nice, which is really good. So when you're adding in the milk to this cake mix, at first it's going to look really bad. It's not going to look like it is coming together. But just persevere, keep on mixing it in, and then you will have a really smooth cake batter just like this. Now we're just gonna put our cake mixture into our tin. Now this recipe is actually perfect for if you are making it to go in a square tin just like this. It doesn't make too much, but if you want to do like a huge tray, then definitely do double up this recipe. Our cake is now ready to finally go in the oven, and I'm so excited, and I will leave all of the temperatures here, and the cake will be done when it's well risen, golden brown, and it should be springy when you tap it with your finger. Whilst our cake is in the oven baking, it's the perfect time to go ahead and start making our icing for the cake. Now for the icing, you don't want it too thick that it won't spread nicely along the cake, but you don't want it too thin where it's going to sort of seep into the cake. So you want to get somewhere in between there. Obviously I will leave all of the ingredients and measurements in the description below for this icing, and now I'm going to show you how you make it. So obviously you've got your icing sugar, and a teaspoon at a time, or a tablespoon, I'm actually going to use a tablespoon. You just want to keep adding in the milk until it's the sort of consistency you are looking for. I've just finished making my icing, and you can see how it's not too thick, but it's also not too thin. So I'm really happy with it. A little tip for if you do end up adding in too much milk, I ended up adding about 6 or 7 tablespoons of milk. But yeah, a little tip if you do make your icing a little bit too thin is just adding a little bit more icing sugar until it's thick enough. So everyone, the moment we've all been waiting for, my cake is now finally out of the oven. It's got a really nice rise on it, and I can just tell it's going to be super fluffy and light and moist, which is perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let our cake completely cool before we even think about adding the icing on, because if we add the icing onto a warm cake, the icing will melt and it's just a big no. My cake has now finally cooled, so I'm so excited to now put the icing and the sprinkles on. So here is my icing, and I'm just gonna start by putting quite a big blob on and then spread it around, and then if I need to add more, then I can add more. And to help me spread it around, I'm gonna be using my offset palette knife. I've just added all my icing onto the top of our sprinkle cake. There's no sprinkles on it just yet though. And I just want to quickly point out, if your icing does drip down the edge a little bit, don't worry about that at all, because I actually really like the effect it gives, like a little drip down the side, and it is meant to be a bit of a rustic cake. So just go with the flow. And now for the best bit, we're gonna add on the hundreds and thousands, because this would not be the iconic old school sprinkle cake if there was not any sprinkles on it. And here we now have my finished old school cake. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We've got the drips here that we weren't even expecting, but you know what? I love the effect that it has given, and it is meant to be a bit of a rustic cake, so I'm going with it and I'm very happy with it. And I think we should cut ourselves a slice to see if it really does taste as good as it looks. Here is a slice of the cake that I have just cut myself, and you can just see how light and fluffy the cake's gonna be. It's super moist and the sponge is just so soft. So let's try some, because my mouth is literally watering. That is unreal, it's so good. It's super light, fluffy, I love it. And there you have it. That was how you make a good old, super easy and delicious old school sprinkle cake. I really hope you guys have all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, then you guys know what to do. Make sure you comment down below, and also give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you're new, so you won't miss any of my future videos just like these ones. And if you're going to give this sprinkle cake a go, I would absolutely love to see it. So make sure you tag me on Instagram at Zak Bakes _ because it makes my day seeing your creations. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.